Is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Sharing the love, spreading the light in real time. Friday night love stream.
Very happy to have a guy we instantly resonated with. Unbiased and on the fence. I'm talking about Shane C. Robinson. And his purpose is to rise above the worldviews that are designed to separate us so we can unite as one.
Sometimes you have to sort of take a step back, and I think Unbiased and on the Fence is a really, really good title for your show, because you are in the central point when you're unbiased and on the fence. That's what it means. It doesn't mean you're indecisive. It means you are taking the central point and you're seeing the multiple perspectives.
Unbiased and on the fence.
If you haven't checked Unbiased on the Fence, go and check his channel out. You might like it.
This is Dan Holfeld from Talk is Cheap, and you're listening to Unbiased and on the Fence with Shane Robinson.
If this much sincerity enters your life, come to this much. What I know, I know. What I do not know, I do not know. I don't believe anything, I don't disbelieve anything. I'm willing to look at everything. You will become a sensible human being.
Have you checked out our website?
Visit us on the web at uotf.net. You're listening to The Love Stream.
All around the world in real time.
This is Shane with Unbiased and On the Fence. You're listening to the Friday Night Love Stream.
Your calls, your stories, on air. You're listening to The Love Stream.
Sharing the love and spreading the light all around the world. This is Unbiased and On the Fence.
Unbiased and on the fence.
Well, happy Good Friday to you. How is everybody doing? I am so sorry it's taken so long. I guess I use a streaming service that streams to multiple places, YouTube, Facebook, places like that, and Twitch, and my website. And for some reason, YouTube wasn't working, so I ended up having to just delete it and re-add it, and it finally worked. So I don't know, maybe something expired with the code or something. Who knows? But everybody's over here at YouTube, so I had to redo it. You know what I mean? So I really had no choice. So sorry about you guys over at Facebook that had to see 3 false starts, but. So I did a BQH with Sherry, and I hope that I'm trying to get it ready to release or whatever. But one important message that came through was that we didn't really need to worry so much about that we should keep our vibes up or whatever. But there's a lot of fear going around that if you have a bad day or something that, you know, you might get stuck on 3D Earth or something along those lines. So I will have more on that later, but that was a message that the higher-ups really wanted to get out, that people need to understand that, you know, it's human to have emotions, fear, anger, these sorts of things. You just don't want to resonate at it, you know, for long periods of time. But even grieving, and you lose somebody, and of course you're going to be sad, and just part of life, you know. So not to really deny yourself those feelings, and not to feel like, you know, if I have a bad day, I might miss the train, miss the boat, as they say. Let's go to the phone lines and see who we got here. 337 area code. Who am I talking to?
Sherry.
Sherry, what is up? I was just talking about you.
You can hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I'm at work, y'all, so if I have to hold on a second, that's it. No, I won't keep you too long, but I just wanted to bring up, I had emailed Shane something today. It was that link if anyone needed help with it. It's like the IRS .gov. You go to it if you don't have to file taxes because you're on Social Security or something. You can go in there and put your stuff in so you're sure that you get your little stimulus check. Because I just wanted to point that out in case some people needed to know it. To be helpful.
That's perfect. So for the people who file their taxes electronically or whatever, and they have their information, they're fine. But there's some people that don't file or haven't filed or whatever, and you can go to irs.gov and scroll down, and there's a place to make sure they have your information, your current information, so that can you put your bank information in there so that they can do a Wow, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, it takes the routing number and all that, and because it's funny because my friend sent it to me because I'm a procrastinator, so I didn't file my 18 or my 19, and then they're like, we're going to send checks out for that, and I'm like, well, what about me? So anyway, so I go to look at it, and it's like, it's not for people that are procrastinate. It's for people like my mom that is on Social Security and doesn't have to file one, so.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So what about people that haven't caught up on, do they have to just get caught up on their taxes to get the stimulus?
Well, wait, y'all are going to think I'm lying. But when you scroll further down, it says like, and for people, it says something like, you type on getmycheck.com or something. It's a gray box. And it's for other people kind of like me. And then it says that you can't push the button until April 17th. Like, it doesn't work until then. I tried to push it.
Oh, that's 1 week from today. So next Friday, you guys.
Well, there's that.
So if you don't need it, you scroll down a little bit. If you didn't need to file taxes, there's something you can click and get the information updated so that you get your money direct deposited, the stimulus money. What is it, $1,200 per person? Is that still what they're saying, or do you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then $600 per kid.
My case, right. No, it's five. I don't know, something like that.
Okay, but if you scroll a little bit further down, it's for the slackers that haven't even done their taxes. You're saying?
Yeah. Wait, and let me tell y'all what. You cannot file your taxes electronically if you're late.
Right.
I was trying to get that thing in there quick, like usually I'm not in a hurry because, I'm not someone that like gets a big refund or I might owe a little bit or whatever. So it's like, I don't rush to do mine,
Right.
I'm the extension queen. If you know that you're going to get even $1 back though, it's okay if you don't file an extension because they only want you to pay if you owe them,
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yep. You only need to do the extensions. Yeah. I remember when I found that out because I thought I was running late one year and they were like, no, if they owe you, you don't have to file anything. You don't ever have to file
it. No, don't worry about it. Yeah.
Right. They'll keep your money. They'll be glad to keep it.
So now we can talk about the fun stuff. So, okay, I want to know if there's anybody else that's been having like this thing happen where it's almost like a three, it like goes click, 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 like almost like your mind inside of your head or something. And like you feel like a whole different like vibration and everything seems weird in the room and there's just a little bit of dizziness with it.
Gee, is that the thing that I think that's the thing Tony was talking about on his channel, isn't it? Well, it wasn't so clicky as it was, like sort of.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's like 3 of them though. It's like for me.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's just a little different for you.
Everything I do is strange and unusual.
Well, you are gifted, so that's just. I think it's par for the course. The more gifted you are, the little more eccentric you are, if that's the right word for it.
Okay. I would like to point out for the record at this time that I would not say gifted. I would say maybe starting to become gifted halfway because everything that I get is like I'm not positive about it.
Yeah.
I get scared of it sometimes, and then I always find out that it's not scary though. But at first it startles me,
Yeah.
And it's just hard to explain. Like, okay, let's bring this thing up, for instance. Okay, so I'm doing all good. I'm riding the wave. I'm all high vibe, and everything's great. And then get up, and my mom says, because I don't really watch TV a lot, just the ghost channels once in a while. I like the Ghost Adventures once in a while. I love that. And so the thing that shows the stick figure ghost on the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so my mom says, the TV said, "We are here with you." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Up in the corner it said it." And I was like, "Really?" So I had, of course, I emailed Shane and bugged him all the time. And I said, "Look, my mom said the TV said this." And I figured it could have been something, like a little advertisement for like a ghost show or something that, or
right.
the Poltergeist movie, We're here.
Right.
Anyway, so that's all well and good until you hit me back really quick because Jean had emailed you or something that a channeling with Blossom, and I could tell I got a good vibe from her when I listened. Okay, the one that said far out Brussels sprouts.
Right, right, yeah. Blossom Goodchild. Yeah, okay. I think that actually came from Tony.
Okay. So she has heard about this message and asked in a channeling about it, and the Galactic Federation of Light or something said because we are here with you, right, and that they were going to give more messages on the TV.
Right.
So at first I'm thinking it's really cool. And then this is what happens to me. I know I might be different from other people. I've been through a lot of stuff, and all of a sudden I'll start thinking, wait a minute, this is a TV. So then I start wondering, where is the message coming from? And then I start messing with my own head, and it causes me to have some drama or whatever.
And take it more negatively, like we're here with you, like we're watching you, sort of a creepy sort of we're here with you. Instead of it like a reassuring, courageous message, you know what I mean? It's we're here with you. We're watching you.
And let's not forget the fact that I saw a little 4-foot shadow person cross right in front of the TV. Probably, I don't remember if it was hours before or a few hours before or after that, but I did.
Right.
And then we got the message from the cable company saying that they were just plugging up this free panoramic gateway Wi-Fi, and I'm like, well,
you guys got the Gigablast too, huh?
Weird. Yeah, and it's complete with a shadow figure that walks right in front of my TV.
You know what? I'm starting to really think with these shadow figures. I just want to interject here that I think they're people asleep. I think they're because the one my son saw, he goes, "Man, it really looked like my nephew. You look like my grandson." I was like, well, maybe he was taking a nap and he's just wandering around the yard. Because there's a few times that my son will be in the room playing his game on the computer, and I'll be in the bed asleep, and he'll see me out of the corner of his eye, get out of the bed and go into the bathroom. But I didn't really get up and go to the bathroom, physically. I must have been dreaming about it, and he caught my shadow figure going in there,
Well, and I'm just playing mostly because, I'm studied all of those out-of-body authors and stuff, and Graham Nichols.
Mm-hmm.
He's the Graham with the 2 L's and Nichols.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually very scientific about him, and he's the one that claimed that he was in college, and you know how they do that thing where you stay with a family or whatever in another country while you're going to school.
Exchange.
He was staying with a family like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's staying with a family, and they had a small child, and he did out-of-body experience, and he had gotten up during the night, out of body, was in the kitchen, saw the little figure, a little shadow person, and then when he woke up, he heard the little boy telling his mom that he got up. Now, he didn't know he was out of body, but he said he got up in the kitchen, and he saw a shadow man in the kitchen. They had, ran into each other. But Graham didn't say anything because of the way they responded to their child.
Right.
So he was like, oh, well, I'm not going to say nothing, but I think he did tell the kids something about not being scared or something, but off to the side. But I agree with you. Totally.
Okay, so back to, I didn't mean to interrupt you. We kind of went off on a tangent. Back to the TV messages, and you can take something and start thinking about it negatively, and then, of course, things can start snowballing into you kind of freaking out about something, which I think it's important you mention this because we've all done this before. It's important to know that.
Well, yeah, I actually just remembered doing it and mentioned something in the chat tonight. I'll just say it for fun. Okay, so on that Paranormal Frequency show, we had on Kevin Estrella, and he's the one that has all the little aliens, and they're all cool. And what's weird is I actually had experiences with this. Like I had a guitar pick teleport through my roof from the little one that plays guitar. I remembered weird memories from when I was a child that really stood out to me. That was his name, which was Radar. It was like multiple times. Then I had a dream that was like really vivid that gave me a message that I really took it as, you know, like he's a little reckless UFO driver, and he'd like crashed into a fence, and then like I go around and take a picture of it, and there's like a satellite, a fence, and radar, and I felt like he was going to communicate with me somehow through this satellite or whatever. Okay, or I mean, you know, like somehow telepathically, whatever. Okay, so there's that. But then I start, you know me, I got to always investigate to mess myself up. And I find out that those were like, they're from like the mountains of Sandia or something like this, these little aliens. But then they have a Sandia Neurological Mind Institute also. And so that kind of creeped me out. And the thing is, I was watching David Wilcock the other night, just for entertainment purposes, you know, just to see what he's got. And he had said that like Corey Good and Emery or whatever, something. I'm going to have to go back and see how he worded it because I don't want to lie. He said that they were part of that or worked with that or something. And I was like,
the Sandia thing?
Yes. And he said the neurological part of the company. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, just for the record, though, I want to say the Sandia is a mountain, so anything in that area is probably there's going to be a lot of places named after the mountain of the area it's in. Just stating that, you know, like Stone Mountain in Georgia, there was Stone Mountain Dental, Stone Mountain, you know, payday loan. You know you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so yeah. No, I do. And I'm sorry. Look, here's the thing, and I appreciate you telling me all that because I don't have a bad feeling about it. It's just that I'm always being cautious to mine. And it like messes me up because I think I had a lot of stuff happen in the past that like, you know, kind of traumatized me, and then I get to where I like over search stuff or whatever, maybe.
Right. But you sort of get what you're looking for too. So if you sort of go in it with, you know, the suspect eye, you're like, yeah, I think these guys are into something kind of fishy, and that's what you're going to find. But if you can sort of go in it objectively and just see what you get and put the information on the shelf, you know, you don't get so tunnel vision with it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I do have, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if I needed to let you go. It sounded like.
Oh, no, they're way down the hall hollering. Yeah, I got a bunch of young ones right now. But anyway, there was, you know what's funny is that, you know, it's Easter time, you know, and I got like, let's just say I have all these like prophet names and, you know, like the Matthew, Mark, Luke, John is there. Right. And Samuel, Jeremiah. I remember Joshua. Just saying, it's really kind of weird right now.
That's hilarious.
I know, idiot. I always notice stuff like that too. Yeah. But so okay, I'm gonna change subject to something more positive, and then okay, if you don't care, I just wanted to see if anybody in chat room heard of Richard Bach. He wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull. And like, here's the thing. So I had a friend named Richard Bach, and while I was growing up from kindergarten, and he like committed suicide and stuff. And also Jonathan Livingston Seagull, if you do SLJ, is like my initials. So anyway, I'd heard him on Coast to Coast be interviewed, Richard Bach, about the books, all his books, and I was just like, he's such a good storyteller, and I love him and stuff. And I started reading this book, and it was just so timely for me, and I just wanted to read everybody like one little part. Is that cool? It's really short.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Can I? Okay. So he says he does not like writing, you know, and he's written all these books, so I'm just going to say this. He says, but once in a while, There's a great dynamite burst, the flying glass and brick and splinters through a front wall. Somebody stalks over the rubble, seizes me by the throat, and gently says, I will not let you go until you set me in words on paper. And that's how I met illusions. That's what he's writing now. And so this is so good because it says there in the Midwest, even I'd, hold on one second, I'm sorry. Huh? What? Yeah, I'm going to see what I can get you, okay? Okay, I'm going to. Okay, I'm going to fix you up. Okay, so let me finish this and then I'm have to go.
No problem.
I have to go take care of Isaiah. I'm just saying. Okay. So back to this. Okay, so okay, this is so good. He says, there in the Midwest, I thought about my 5D on this. There in the Midwest, even, I'd lie on my back practicing cloud vaporizing, and I couldn't get the story out of my mind. What if someone came along who was really good at this, who could teach me how my world works and how to control it? What if I could meet a super advanced, like Jesus, came into our time with power over the illusions of the world because he knew the reality behind him? And what if I could meet him in person? If he were flying a biplane and landed in the same meadow with me, what would he say and what would he be like? Maybe he wouldn't be like the Messiah on the Oil Street gasoline pages of my journal. Maybe he wouldn't say anything this book says. But then again, things this one told me, what if we magnetize into our lives whatever we hold in our thought, for instance? If that is true, then somehow I've brought myself to this moment for a reason, and so have you. Perhaps it's no coincidence that you're holding this book, and perhaps there's something about these adventures that you came here to remember. I choose to think so, and I choose to think that my Messiah is perched out there on some other dimension, not fiction at all, watching us both and laughing for the fun of it happening just the way that we planned it to be. Now, doesn't that sound good?
That's awesome. And anybody that wants to pick it up, it's Jonathan Livingston Seagull, you said?
Yeah. So this one is by Richard Bach, and it's called Illusions, and it has a feather on it, which my dad had left me in the bathroom the other night.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to have to hang up. I'm so sorry.
Okay, no problem. Thanks for calling.
One of my people. All right, I love all y'all. Okay,
love
bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Let's go.
You're listening to The Love Stream.
Unbiased and on the fence.
All right, let's see here. Phone lines are open. I think Raul was going to call in, possibly. Okay, so while we're waiting on the next caller, what do we have up here? I had something that was sort of neat. I figured I could share. I don't know. This came across my path, and I thought it was definitely worth sharing, just for the humor of it, if for nothing else. But if you go to O'ReillyAuto.com, O'Reilly Auto Parts, just the regular website, and you type in flux capacitor, look what comes up here. A flux capacitor, part number 121G. This item is not available for purchase. It's a fake product, but I just thought it was funny. Here, let's see, maximum power, 121 gigawatts, modifications, time travel, works off plutonium, working speed, 88 miles an hour. That's hilarious. Yeah, you can read it, but I don't know if you just wanted to, it's one of those neat little things you can do if you want to look it up. Flux capacitor. It even says you have to have the DeLorean and stuff, where isn't it? Yeah, flux capacitor requires the stainless steel body of a 1981 to 83 DeLorean DMC-12 to properly function. I thought it'd be interesting if they had like that display where you put the date where you want to go, like frequently sold with, and have that thing up there. That'd be pretty funny. Anyway, so that's that. having more and more of this. Let me make sure I don't have anybody waiting here. Okay, just want to make sure I didn't have any callers waiting. This more and more of this, seeing this whole thing like I don't know, like a training simulator or training, like a classroom. I think that's really, really the best way to look at this. And I don't know if I told you guys, but one morning I was waking up and I heard this voice, still carrying over from dream time, telling me about the Matrix. Like, just these last two little things about the Matrix, saying, remember the Matrix has two functions. I'm paraphrasing because I was half asleep, but I remember the main point of it. And it was, remember the Matrix has two functions, one to make it real, and two to hide the fact that it's not real. To hide the illusion of it. So it was like reminding me, this voice, it was a woman's voice, mid-30s, I would say, not old, not young, just giving me this information. How do you explain that? What is that? That's so strange. I talked about it a long time ago, that I've had that happen. I've had a few other little instances happen. Know thyself was another one that came through. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. All right, let's see about going back to the phone lines. 986 area code. Who am I talking to?
It's Raul. How you doing?
Hey, Raul.
Hey, I'm pretty calm tonight.
How you doing on this Good Friday, buddy?
Yeah, what's that again?
I said, how are you doing on this Good Friday?
Oh, very good. Hey, Shane, I don't know how you do these call-in shows. Wow, you're just great for doing this for the Mandela Effect community, and,
oh, man, it's nice to have a place to go to,
let's not condemn others, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was talking to Joe P. in the room there, and then I told him, I said, hey, I can prove that David Wilcox was a fraud. If you'd like me to do that, I will. But what I was going to just share tonight is I've had a couple of people verify this. David Wilcox, you know who that is, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wilcox? Yeah. Okay, he's a Mandela Effect name change. I've had a couple of people back me up. And I've known about David Wilcox for, I'm going to say, probably about the time your parents were born. So I've known since the mid-1970s the books of David Wilcox. Right?
Okay.
And then just like Sherry, she's also knows of the Casey material.
Mm-hmm.
I knew the Casey family.
Mm-hmm.
I roared around Virginia Beach with, Hugh Lynn Casey in his little blue Volkswagen Bug.
Mm-hmm.
I was stationed in Virginia Beach in the 1970s. And then I went to Kentucky and I met quite a few of the Edgar Casey family.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so David Wilcox is a man that claims that he's a reincarnation of Edgar Casey. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard that before.
Okay.
It looks kind of like him in certain pictures.
Well, his name was Wilcox, Wilcox, and then now it's Wilcox. So it's a Mandela Effect name change.
Yeah,
isn't that something?
Cynthia remembers that too, I believe. Cynthia Sue Larson said she remembered it being Wilcox. It's always been Wilcox for me, but I had a friend with the last name of Wilcox, so I always remembered it as being the similar one, but the different one. So I don't know. I need to go check my best friend's name from back.
Yeah,
in the day.
I've studied that man's. I've studied the man's material, not in depth, because I knew right out the gate that he was a fraud, and I can, at least, well, not a fraud. Let's just say he's a good man. He knows about the Casey meditation practices. He's probably a good man. I'm not gonna put him down for being a good New Age researcher.
Well, is it possible that he believes what he's saying?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So he believes that he was Edgar Casey reincarnated, but the ARE has proved that, and I'll tell you how. It's really interesting. Would you like to know that? And then,
Sure.
Then we can go to, okay, really quick. I've studied the Edgar Casey material better than, I don't know, anybody I know. I've studied the Edgar Casey material since the mid-1970s. I've read every book written about Edgar Casey. Okay? Do you hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
and
Wilcock
I've been to the
now,
ARE,
right?
I don't know how many times.
No,
I
it's Wilcock. I'm sorry, I'm trying to tell the people in the chat. It's Wilcock now.
Yeah, it's Wilcock now, but it was
Right,
Wilcox.
Yeah, a lot of people are, well, what? Wait.
I can't see the chat room, Shane.
Jane's saying it's still Wilcox, but the last I checked, like a few days ago, it was
I'm not
Wilcox.
watching that. I'm not watching the chat room, Shane. Okay.
Okay, people are remembering Wilcox.
Now I'll just tell you this, and then if you wanted to talk about anything else, but just really quick, this is pretty big deal. When Eileen said, "Hey, David Wilcox has a chat room tonight," that was last week. Remember?
Yeah.
I went into his meditation group and I said, "Hey, David Wilcox, would you please come clean and be honest with these people that you were not Edgar Casey?" I said that to him in his chat room.
Right, I was actually in there. I saw that.
I was friends with Hugh Lynn Casey. That was Edgar Casey's son.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Okay. And I've been to the ARE, I don't know how many times. Hundreds of times I've been to the Association Research and Enlightenment, 67th Street in Virginia Beach, Virginia. I lived there for 3 years.
All right.
Okay? Okay, so in the Casey material, I'll just say this kind of briefly. If you have any questions, just ask me. Edgar Casey, before he passed away, he said, "I will be reborn, reincarnated." Did you hear can you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Okay. Edgar Casey said, "I will be reborn." Okay? He said, "I will be reincarnated. And in order to identify who I am, I have given, the Association Research and Enlightenment 3 questions to answer."
Mm-hmm.
One is Milton, Milton. One is Houston, and I'm just going to stop there. There's 3 questions that the president of the ARE was to ask an individual approaching the ARE and say, "I am Casey reborn." Okay? There's 3 questions. And David Wilcox failed all 3 questions. Okay? And so the ARE does not like the Association Research and Enlightenment, the Edgar Casey Foundation in Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
They really do not like David Wilcox for slandering the Casey name, claiming he is Casey. They don't like him. Tolchi, the president, Edgar Casey's son is president now, and they don't like this guy. And so how he could continue to claim to be Edgar Casey is wrong. That's just wrong. Yep. And so anyway, but that's what I was trying to explain to Joe. I don't know his last name in the chat room tonight.
Right.
And then Sherry, God bless her, she's really familiar with the Edgar Casey material as well. Okay.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, I know he says that.
Yeah,
and,
overprotect.
And he probably believes it, but I just don't really. I don't think he's trying to overtake the ARE or anything.
He might believe it, but he failed. He failed the 3 questions that were left by Edgar Casey. there's 3 questions that Edgar Casey left.
Right, I understand.
With the yeah, okay. So he failed all 3 questions. All right?
Yeah, I didn't know anything about any of that.
So,
that's interesting.
yeah, I know about it because I'm a black belt in Edgar Casey material. Yep.
Where is that information found? Where's where's the information found about him failing this test that you're talking about?
Well, if you look up the Association Research and Enlightenment Virginia Beach, and you punch in like maybe search David Wilcox, all of the scholars at the Casey Library all say David Wilcox is a fraud.
And they're the ones that conducted the test or whatever?
Yes, it's 3 questions that were left by Edgar Casey. One is, who is Milton? Who is Milton?
Right, I'm just concerned with if anybody's watching this and they're like, oh, he's a fraud, let me go check
The other one is,
information.
what is Houston? The other question is, what is Houston? And then there's one other. There's 3 questions that Edgar Casey said, if someone approaches the Association Research Enlightenment, say, I am Casey Reborn, I am giving you 3 questions that they must answer.
Right, I completely understand what you're saying. I'm just saying for anybody that's tuned into this and they would like to hear this.
And David Wilcox failed all 3 questions. And so
where is that
Research Enlightenment?
Where is that information available at, Raul? That's all I'm asking you, buddy.
With the library.
At the ARE?
With the ARE library, if you just look it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And then Association Research and Enlightenment. If you ask them, what do you think of David Wilcox? They'll say, oh, he's just a fraud.
Okay.
That's what they'll say, yes.
Well, what else is going on?
Well, I think that this coronavirus crap, that's a big story, I think it's 5G. And then I think I mentioned to you that I graduated from 3 electrical engineering schools. I think I've told you that. Did you know that Casey's son is also an electrical engineer?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. So you think it's 5G? You're going with
I think it's 5G. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. Just when you lay down a map, you find out that where was the first place that 5G came online, and it was Wuhan, China, is where it came online big time, and New York City.
All right.
The towers. Have you followed the towers? They're like $1 million a piece. Towers that are in New York City, and the New York City will not tell the people what the towers are. Well, I think it's 5G, and that's why everyone is getting sick in New York City. And then so there's a good guy, Max Egan. He talks about 5G as being the real culprit in this coronavirus fraud hoax. I hurt my hand last week, and I'm a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Did I tell you that before?
Yeah.
I mentioned to you I'm a U.S. veteran. Okay, so I go into the VA medical center, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then I hurt my hand, right? So I went into emergency. And the VA is abandoned. There's no deaths, no cases. This valley I live in, and I've mentioned it, I live in the Treasure Valley.
Mm-hmm.
We have a population of 300,000 people here in southern Idaho. Mm-hmm. And our VA medical center has 0 deaths, 0 cases of coronavirus in our Veterans Administration Hospital.
Right.
I really think that this is just not true.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're in Oklahoma or somewhere. Are you guys
Tulsa,
under
Oklahoma.
martial law? You guys
No,
under
it's just
martial law?
it's a shelter in place order, but it's not, they're not, pulling anybody over or forcing anybody to do anything.
We're free to move around.
Right.
We're free to move around.
Not many people are, though. It's like, people are, don't get me wrong. There's a great amount of the people who are like off work, staying home, or maybe they stay home anyway. And then there's people that's trying to carry on business as usual. I mean, the restaurants, some of them are even more busy than usual because people are, like McDonald's is probably busier because people just go through the drive-thru and grab something where they normally would do something else or whatever. But they're talking about going to just essential products in the store, though. So I guess they decide what is essential at some point, because I think Eileen was saying that they wouldn't let you buy board games and stuff like that, which if you're stuck in the house, you would think they'd let you buy a board game,
I think that the reason that my valley is spared, I've read news stories on this, is that Idaho is conservative state, right?
Mm-hmm.
Conservative. And we all have guns. So they're not. So we're free to move around. We don't have any, martial law here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really sad. As Helen London, I hope she's still in the chat room. I feel so sad for Europe because those guys, God, they're getting arrested frickin' down in Australia and shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to swear,
No.
They're being arrested and fined for walking around without a mask on. We have complete freedom of movement here still, but our businesses are closed down. A lot of our small businesses are closed.
Yeah.
And then, you want to turn this a little bit lighter. My elderly mother asked me the other day, "Hey, Raul, do you need any toilet paper?" And I'm like, "No." "How come, Mom?" And she goes, "Well, Raul, your sister bought me 50 rolls of toilet paper." And I mean, come on, you gotta laugh about that. My sister is completely, fear is a real enemy here, you know what?
Oh, I know.
Fear. The fear of everything, you don't want to fear stuff. And then, but my little sister is absolutely terrified. I can't share with her at all. I can't, because I can't talk to her about it because she's over the top. She's so terrified that she's just paralyzed.
Well, I don't think your 5G theory would cheer her up much anyway either, Raul.
Yeah. But Max Egan in the Crow House, he does a really great information.
Yeah, I've been watching his
videos
walkabouts, his walk and talk.
Why he thinks 5G is behind this, but really we are all not exactly sure. I would say I agree with you, spiritual warfare, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, I come up with something else. As when we got off last week, I kind of had a little revelation about that Revelations 12:23 September 2017 prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
I got another revelation. I'll just share that, and then Magic Sister said I really should do a good information video about it, and I might. I made about 50 videos, Sean, but I've erased them all off of my YouTube channel. My Raleigh channel. I just erased them. They were just about Mandela effect and stuff. But if you just allow me to share just really quick what I saw that might be significant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here, when did this coronavirus hit? Middle of March, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, 3.5 years ago, exactly, if you want to talk about times and half time, if you have any question what I'm saying, if you're not understanding what I'm saying, then just stop me and say, what do you mean by that?
Right.
Okay, so 3.5 years ago, 7-year tribulation, times half, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 3.5 years ago exactly is when that 23 September 2017 prophecy appeared in the stars. And Jupiter was in the womb of Virgo for 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then Jupiter, the god planet, circles the sky, and then it said that the child, or the dragon, would want to devour the child. So what planet, symbol, sign, would be a planet that eats kids. Well, I know that sounds gross. Okay, so Kronos is Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
You know that?
Right.
You know Kronos? Okay, Kronos was a god, a mythology god that ate children. Okay? And then so, Jupiter circles the sky. And then that's the god planet. So then it covered up Pluto, god of the underworld, right? Mm-hmm. And then it came close to Saturn right now. It's next to Saturn. Okay? Mm-hmm. I'm going to sum this up in 20 words or less. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Okay, so Mars was there. That's war, spiritual warfare. Mars just now conjunct Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
Did you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Conjunct Saturn. Okay. So middle of March, right? Okay. So now listen to this. This is the idea I came up with after speaking with you, and it's good to have sounding board and to talk with someone else because you sounding board. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You
kind of work out. Okay. So worldwide, everybody's cooped up. They're, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're.
Absolutely.
So what happens during blackouts? What happens during like big blackouts and stuff where people are forced to stay at home? What happens 9 months later?
Mm-hmm.
What happens 9 months later, Sean?
There's a birth of some sort?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Big. The corona kids, the coronavirus kids will be born. And when is that? Exactly 9 months from now. And then exactly 9 months from now, do you know when that 23 September 2017 next chapter is when Saturn and Jupiter conjunct, bullseye. And that is on, and I'll check this out, Christmas Day is exactly 9 months from now, Sean.
Wow.
Yeah! Do you see what I'm saying?
Right. So hold on. I need to add another element to this. When that happened, the September date, wasn't it only a month before that the 7-year solar eclipse, the Great American Solar Eclipse, the first of the two 7 years apart happened? As well?
Yeah, there was the big, the big one that came across the United States.
Where it makes a
big
X.
I got something that relates to Casey really quick. Okay, so in a year or two, there's going to be another eclipse that crosses the United States, a solar eclipse, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be another one. It comes from the south and goes north.
Right.
And then, the one that happened 2 years ago that came across the United States, guess what? Guess where the X marks the spot where those two both cross?
Right in the Midwest there.
Yeah, just about. Not too
right
far
on the New
from
Madrid
you.
Fault or something, yeah.
Yeah. No, yep. Christian County, Kentucky. Guess who was born in Christian County, Kentucky?
Who?
Edgar Casey.
Wow.
Yeah!
That's
yeah.
crazy.
But anyway, so now I believe that this is like Exodus, where we'll be passed over, people that have good faith in God as you understand God. I ran addiction recovery rooms for 12 years. Okay, so I ran the rooms. Okay, so God as you understand God, right? You have faith in God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be okay. You'll be passed over like the Exodus. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, did you know about the king that wanted to kill the children when the Christ child was born? Any child 2 years old or under was to be murdered?
Right, Herod, I think.
That's what I feel, this big baby boom that's going to happen on Christmas Day. At the end of December, there is going to be thousands and thousands of extra births. because of this.
Because everybody having to be locked in, you're saying?
What?
You're saying people are making the best of it. I got you.
Oh, me and my girlfriend are just going at it. Just kidding. You know what I call her? I call her, her name's Tammy. Do you know what Tammy means in like Latin or something, right? It's twin. Now I got to get you to, okay, now try not to laugh. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I explain Mandela effects to Tammy all the time, right? For the last, 4 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right? 4 years. And I'm like, then every once in a while she just turns around and goes, yeah, but Raul, things change all the time. Things are changing. I go, didn't I just explain this to you? And then so I've been telling you about this for 4 years. Can't you hear me? And then anyway, so her name's Tammy, and Tammy in Latin means twin. And so do you know what I teasingly call her?
What's that? Try
not to laugh. I call her Tammy Twin 2 from Orion Earth 2.0. I said, Tammy, I used to go out with your twin sister on Sagittarius. Hey, did you have any other callers calling in?
Yeah, actually we do have a few in the queue that we can go through.
I'll let you go.
Hey, I appreciate you calling in, though, man.
Hey, Shane, let's not condemn any. Look, God said do not condemn anybody for, you've never lied before, have you?
Oh, I've lied.
Oh, yes, and so have I. I've lied before, too. And so let's forgive David Wilcock for being a liar, because that's what he is.
Well, from his point of view, he's not, though, right? Then you say you think he believes.
Well, you're right. God, how do you turn this down? You turn the coronavirus into a blessing in disguise. How'd you do that?
Well,
okay,
it all comes back
everybody.
To a Mandela effect, Matthew 7:1.
You know what, Shane? You really honestly are only one of very few that are seeing this as something that is going to be turned to good. And Shane, that's true. Because even the Exodus, where there was plagues, coronavirus plagues, and the Israelites were passed over, and it was turned to God's glory. Mm-hmm. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then so I think all of this demonic, God's kids, all of mankind is being hurt right now by this thing. And I think you're absolutely right. You're only one of very few that are saying that this could be turned. You changed my mind, Jane. I told you that, didn't I?
I think you're going to be surprised.
I know it. No, I'm not going to be surprised, because when I was listening to you, you're just so calmly saying, no, this is going to be turned to good. And then I'm like, oh, yeah. In the Bible, there's story after story that talk about how, principalities of darkness try to hurt God's kids on the earth here, and then it's turned back on them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll get you laughing. Two more things. Okay, really quick. Okay, here's what I do, because this is harming me too and my family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so what I pray is the fiery darts. That's what it says in the Bible, is fiery darts. The fiery darts that are sent in my direction,
mm-hmm.
I just very sincerely pray to God, Dear God, would you return any fiery darts sent my direction back to sender? And then we have to believe that our prayers are answered. Is everybody in the chat room laughing? Okay, then I got another one. I got one more. So I'm in trouble. I went through a divorce, and it was like, oh, man, my guardian angel, man, he's slipping. I said, man, I'm hurting pretty bad. I go, damn. I go, okay, dear God, please fire my guardian angel. And if Michael, the archangel, if he's not busy, could I have him as my guardian angel, please, Lord? Amen. Amen. You were supposed to try not to laugh, Shane. All right. Hey, Shane, thank you so much for taking my call. I'm going to go ahead and, when you post these, I'm going to go ahead and just pull out a clip of our conversation, maybe make videos out of our conversations. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, feel free to do that.
I
Post it on your
really
channel.
appreciate you recording this. Yeah, really big time.
No
and
problem,
so,
buddy.
Shane, you are so positive that you make me nervous.
The best is yet to come, my friend. How good can it get? Like
All right.
Casey Larson
All right.
says.
Thank you, sir.
Lots of love,
All
brother.
right. Very good.
Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All righty. Let's go back. We have 661 area code. Who am I talking to?
Hi, Shane. It's High Vibe in 888. Maria.
Maria, how's it going?
Hi. It's going, dude. I'm gonna drink some water real quick because I got thirsty right when you answered. I was about to take a swig.
No problem. No problem. In fact, that sounds refreshing. I'm gonna take a swig myself. Perfect.
Oh.
Everybody's drinking all around the world with us. Toast to the delicious water of life.
It's a reminder to take a drink of water. Hydrate.
Yeah, it is. And it is. It's like now I've been doing the conscious breathing. I find that helps a lot to center myself as often as possible. And then drinking water. That's one I forget. But I know as soon as I start getting a headache, I'm like, uh-oh, getting dehydrated. I didn't drink my water. So.
Yeah. When I do my meditations and I tap into my guides, they're always reminding me, drink water, drink water, drink water. Or if they have a message for humanity, that's one of the main things is to hydrate, because our bodies are high, running higher vibrations or higher frequencies, and we need the water to move the energy. See, I'm yawning, so I need some more water.
Yeah, for me it's I drink water, but caffeine is super important to me right now. I guess I'll worry about it when I need to worry about it though. Keeps me going, you know.
Yeah, I have to have at least a cup because I got off of coffee a couple of years ago, but little by little I've been sometimes these energies come in and it just wipes you out. It just knocks you down and you're just so tired. But you have things to do, so it's like gotta drink some coffee.
Right.
Yeah, gotta have my
sometimes
cup.
do you find that sometimes it's not enough to pull you out of it though?
It's not.
Yeah.
Just it helps a little, but
yeah.
Holy crap! All day long, my eyelids are heavy, and then there are other days where I'm just really wired.
Yeah.
Like ups and downs.
Yep, absolutely. Have you had any weird sleep schedules lately? Or
Yeah, for the past week actually.
Yeah.
I've been getting it's almost been 2 weeks now. I've been getting only 6 hours or less, and I've been waking up in the weirdest times, and I can't go back to sleep because I would wake up. I'm still groggy, I go use the bathroom, come back to bed, and all of a sudden I'm zinging. The vibrations are so high, I start shaking, and the bed starts shaking. I start vibrating my whole body, and it's hard. As I'm talking to you right now, my vibrations are rising. I can feel them, and I'm starting to sound. I feel like a nervous energy. I need to yawn. Oh, let me shake it off. Woo.
They're contagious.
I guess I'm
You're making
connecting with
everybody.
you. I don't know.
You're connecting everybody with the yawn. We're all. Well, I didn't yawn, but
Well,
I know there's no way some people didn't because they're contagious. But that's fine.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Let's see here. I had something I wanted to.
Yesterday. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, there is a delay, you guys. So, and you know what? What's bad about the delay is that everybody hears it from my point of view. So it sounds like, while I was talking over you from your point of view, it sounded like you were talking over me from everybody else's point of view. So everybody always thinks the guest is talking over me, but really it's you guys are hearing it from my point of view. So there was something that in the chat I wanted to see, but I don't see it anymore. So Okay, I guess hydrate thyself. Okay, sorry, continue on.
About what? You saw something on the chat? Because I'm trying to read the chat and talk to you at the same time because I'm trying to practice that. Because I'm not as nervous as the first time I called in. So.
Yeah,
But,
it is hard to keep up sometimes, and if you guys don't know how to put the person's name in to make it show up red, it works better if you can put it in caps. Then I have a better chance of seeing it because my eyesight isn't what it used to be.
I noticed that I can highlight only on my laptop, but on my my phone or my tablet, I can't highlight. The names they don't get colored like you guys have color.
Yeah, so for me, what happens is on my computer, I can hit @ and I can type, like, for instance, AL, and then it'll pop up Alva, and then I can just click her name. I don't have to type Alva Yarder in there and all that. It's just, I just click it. But on the phone, I have to remember exactly how it's spelled and with the spaces and everything and put @ and whatever it is. So I typically, if I'm on the phone, I don't do that because it doesn't finish it for me.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a big pain in the butt.
Yeah, I saw Alva just posted a comment. Maria, are you using the shungite I gave you? I'm holding it in my hand as I speak.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and it's helping. I just grabbed it and put it in my hand, and then I saw her post. That's how connected we are. Rip.
That's really cool. I've been noticing that happening more and more, where it seems like telepathy is kind of coming online a little bit. Yeah.
Back in July, last year in July, I was taking a nap, and I sat up because when I take naps, which I rarely do, I can't fall asleep. But when I do, I start talking to people, like on the other side. And these galactic beings came in and told me telepathy has come online. And I sat up. I heard them say that. I sat up. I didn't really see them, but I kind of sensed them around me. And I sat up. And my husband heard me say it. He goes, "What's coming online?" I go, "Telepathy?" And then I started noticing more telepathic. I mean, people have been commenting on it at home, my friends, my family, or I'm talking to somebody and I'm just plucking words out of their mind, or vice versa. Like we're saying each other's words. We're thinking it, but the other person is saying it. It's weird, and my daughter's freaked out. She's like, it's happening so much now that it's creeping her out. And I'm like, yeah. Then I remember about that message I got back in July. But I think now it's starting to ramp up, and more people are talking about it. It's a trip, man. This is exciting times.
It really is. And, on top of that, and my kids are noticing it too, but like the other day, I said something and the TV was going in the background and it said the same phrase, whatever, like a 3-word phrase came through the TV like right after I said it, and I turned around to see if anybody noticed it, because I notice stuff like that all the time, and my daughter was sitting there with her jaw dropped looking at the TV like, what the heck, how did that just happen? So they're starting to notice, because it's not always through, it could be through it could be a billboard or anything. I mean, there's no limit to how a sign or a message can come through that's so synchronistic in the moment. And I've been not even really saying nothing unless I notice someone else notices it, then I'll say something. But because you just sound crazy if you're just saying it all the time. Like, did you see that? Did you see that? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But it's fun. It's exciting.
It
keeps you in the zone, of excitement.
I know sometimes I drive my family nuts because I'm always, did you see that? That was an orb, No, oh, there was a man standing there, because I'm always seeing things. And they're like, okay, like they hear it all the time, and they're getting kind of tired of it. So now I just keep it to myself. Or sometimes they hear me talking to myself, but I'm not talking to myself.
Right.
I am hearing constantly now. Before I had to work to connect to my guides. Yeah. Now they're here all the time. I can hear them I can hear them right now.
Mm-hmm.
and they ask me questions. I don't really know who they are. There's just random people. I even talk to other passed over people, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a lot of I get a lot of the earthbounds that come around here.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, if I'm playing poker with my husband or something,
Mm-hmm.
they'll ask me why did you throw those cards down and not those, or what? And I answer out loud, and and my husband's like, huh? I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, because they ask me questions. Some of them are curious about the game that I'm playing.
Right.
You know, and so they're asking questions like they're watching through me. I don't know what's happening. Maybe Sherry knows.
Well, you know, everybody's experiencing, not everybody, a good portion of people are experiencing these strange anomalies like this, and people are just trying to make sense of it, you know. I've been noticing right when you go to bed at night and you get those hypnagogic images, that's really ramped up and gotten way more vivid, and seems like forgotten memories have come through, or alternate timeline memories. I don't really know what it is, but it's strange, and you know, I hear other people talking about it. So anybody listening to this, if you're having anything strange like that happen, you know, feel free to drop me an email and or call into the show, or even get on the forum, the free forum on the website. You can get on there and share anything that's going on. I think it's great that we can all discuss these things so we don't feel so crazy when they're happening. That's the main thing.
You know, I think it would be nice for us just to talk about this kind of stuff, because like Alba and I would call each other up and tell each other, guess what happened? Or, you know, I heard knocks, or I saw someone. You know, we just tell each other, what do you think it was? But we had each other to support each other going through this, because for a while there I was going through it by myself. But then things started happening for her too. So it's like, yay, I'm not by myself.
I know, right? That's funny, because it is. It's nice to know that you're not alone throughout all this stuff. So I wanted to ask you what you feel like has increased your connection to your guides, or just intuition, or however it is your messages are coming through. Because for me, it's being in the moment and being high vibe is the best two components of receiving, you know, being in the moment and then just being open, and then higher vibe seems to give you the better connection. What about you? What has anything? Do you have any tips?
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Because I notice that if I'm in a lower vibe, I don't hear them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a lower vibe, I feel like there's a thick cocoon around me that's like a barrier, and I can't connect as well. But when I'm high vibe, like that, I like my name high vibe, because I love being in this state. This is when I feel connected. This is where I feel like things flow, and I start feeling disconnected to everybody and everything around me. I can even hear the lately I've been hearing nature speak to me. You know, the trees. I'm like, I'm really losing it. I'm the crazy lady here. So yeah, I think that I've been spending more in the now and breaking old habits during this time of quarantine. Old habits of just being I have to finish tasks. I'm always have to be busy. If it's an old program. I always felt like if I wasn't busy, I was being unproductive. But now I'm learning just to be. And when it wasn't,
me too.
I'm
That's
sitting
so funny.
outside in my hammock. I'm learning. Yes, I think this is a learning period for us. This is a time for us to go within. And I was really, really excited a couple of weeks ago, because I finally had a UFO dream, and I wanted to share it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, let's hear it. I love UFO dreams.
Okay. So I haven't been dreaming for months. I don't dream. Or I do dream, but I don't remember them. I know I've been busy, and I always feel like I'm not rested. I always feel like I'm doing something else. But anyways, one morning I woke up, but I was still dreaming. I woke up in a dream. And it was 7 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, 2 weeks ago. And my grandson was with me, and he was asleep in the bed with me. I didn't feel him crawl into bed with me. So I woke him up, and I told him, hey, we got to get ready for school. And he said, okay, Grandma. Then we saw these flashing lights on the reflecting from our window onto the ceiling. And I'm like, what's making that light? And my grandson's like, I don't know. And I'm like, let's open the window and see. So I opened my drapes, and I looked up, and there were these ships. They were shaped like boomerangs, but they had more of a triangle look to it, but thin like a boomerang.
Mm-hmm.
And they were light ships because they didn't really have structure. It was weird. They had lights, though. They glowed, but they had these 3 main lights.
Mm-hmm.
Like 1, 2 lights on each wing. Yeah. And they were like a white light. And they made clouds. They made clouds. They made the clouds appear so they were within the clouds, and you can see them floating through them. And there were hundreds of them out into the horizon. And I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. I felt right there in that moment when I realized what was happening, I got scared. I got fearful for like a millisecond. And then I composed myself. I said, no, this is great. This is exciting. It's happening. So I told my grandson, let's go wake everybody up. So when I went to open my bedroom door, I really woke up. So it was a dream. So it was a trip, though. So I was like,
so
I had
cool.
a dream about UFOs.
That's exciting, isn't it?
So, yeah, that was cool. Yeah, it was really exciting because I've been hearing a lot of people tell their stories, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I got to drink some more
me
water.
Too. Yeah, I'm the same way, too. I'm like, I want an experience. But, you know, I had one that's you always wish it was a little better, that you get your camera, or we're never happy. We're never satisfied. Huh? But I wanted to ask you, when you looked up and you saw the craft, were they moving or were they stationary? I don't know why that matters to me, but I was just trying to picture it in my mind. Were they moving or stationary?
They were moving eastbound.
Mm-hmm. Like together, like in formation, sort of?
In formation and unison. And they were all spaced exactly apart. Like I can't even give you a scale. Yeah, like a grid. Mm-hmm. And they were just going east, and I was just blown up. I was like, but I just remembered this, I sensed in different parts of the skies there were other types of ships too. And I felt like they all dropped down, like I don't know, it's crazy. I don't know, Shane. It's
still exciting.
It would be
left
so
you feeling
cool.
excited.
I know, it would be so cool if it did happen, if they really did come down, but I don't know. Then I hear different things where people say, "Oh, we're not ready." But maybe the people that have these kinds of dreams, maybe we're going to go in that timeline where
exactly. That's exactly how it works. In fact, I'm about to put this video out that Sherry did, and in her BQH session, because she channeled a higher being, and that was exactly how it was explained: is that we all have these core frequencies, and that us in this group, we've got this core frequency we share. That's why we resonate with each other, and we're all moving our time. We're sharing a timeline, basically, is how it was explaining, because that's why we feel comfortable with each other, because we're moving together. It's like we're sort of guiding this boat together as a collective here, and there's people that's vibrating with us that doesn't even know us yet, but they're part of our group, you know what I mean, even though we don't know each other or whatever. Right. It's that same core frequency that feels the same way, that wants the same things, and knows it's possible, and we're like vibrating at that, and we're moving in that direction, and nothing's going to stop us. Nothing's going to distract us, we might be distracted a little bit with the fear and stuff with stuff here, but our core frequency doesn't change,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
I when you guys talking about her.
I've lost you for some reason. I don't know why it's. Are you still there? Can you?
Hello.
Yeah, we'll try to continue.
Hello?
No, it's actually choppy. Am I choppy for you?
No. For you?
No, it's really bad. Maybe try. Can you maybe try to call back?
Yeah.
Are you still there?
Okay. You remind me about because I'm like forget real quick.
I'm so sorry. I can't understand what you're saying.
Hello?
Yeah, I can't understand you. It's breaking up too bad. Okay, sorry.
Let's go.
You're listening to The Love Stream.
Unbiased and on the fence.
All right. 240 area code. Who am I talking to?
Hey, this is Ruth.
Hey, Ruth. I'm so glad you took the time to call in. You sent me an email, and I was hoping you could call in and share your ideas, your thoughts.
Yes, I did. I was having a difficult time logging in. I guess I was misreading the message, but yes, I was able to call in. So thank you so much for taking my call.
No problem.
So the reason I wanted to reach out and call is because I was recently I just discovered that I happen to be channeling several entities, and I'm also claircognizant. So it's I wanted to share with you and with the audience something that has to do with this epidemic or pandemic or whatever they want to call it, and the fact that everybody has to be indoors and sort of like scared. There's a lot of fear, and there is a lot of questions from our community. And I just wanted to share some of the information that I received, and I hope it's helpful. And please, everybody, just accept whatever little nuggets of gold are helpful. As we are all living in different realities, I feel like information might be good for some people, and for others may not be. But just take it as it is, and hopefully it will help somebody out there. The main information that I have and I wanted to share has to do with the timing of this epidemic and some information that I have, from childhood. I was religious, and I know, religion is a touchy subject. I myself have long ago walked away from it, but I also see it as, Joseph Campbell said, the power of myth. There is a lot of information in many of the different myths and beliefs around the world, and I think and I know that we need to take little pieces from it and make it fit in our reality and to the knowledge that we are growing and receiving, especially now as healers and in BQH. Now we know there are so many things out there that are so different, or sometimes people don't want to believe it, but it's real, and we see it happening over and over. So us being closer indoors and being scared around the time in the Christian faith, when the crucifixion and the part where there was the whole where the apostles were scared and frightened, and they were also hiding after the Jesus was murdered.
Okay, so this is we're talking about right around the time of his crucifixion, when they sort of all scattered and went and hid because they didn't want to be crucified too, and Peter denied Jesus all at that one time where everybody went in hiding. Right, okay.
And they were in their house, they were afraid to go out. So I'm seeing similarities to where we are now, Of
right,
course,
like a parallel.
There's a different scenario. There's a parallel. And then the 50th day after that, they got together. And an amazing thing happened where they said that the light came from the heavens, and the light split. So there was like a center light that split on little flames, and these flames were on top of every one of the apostles' heads.
Yeah, they called them tongues of fire, didn't they? tongues of fire at
Yes,
Pentecost?
They call it Pentecost, exactly. And they said the Holy Spirit had come, and from that moment on, these men were no longer afraid. These men were able to go out in the world and teach this brand new belief that it was unknown, it was new, it was different, it was way, far away from anything anybody has ever known. And these were not, according to the story, famous people. These were just average, everyday men that happened at that very moment, went from being followers to becoming leaders of this new faith and this new belief. And they were speaking on different tongues. They were able to perform miracles, but they were also able to have many other people follow them. And so this whole new wave of belief has, and now we see it. They basically took over the whole known world at the time.
Yeah.
And the parallel is that we're going through that process right now. We're all scared. We're inside. Many of us are afraid to go out and talk about, our beliefs. We are afraid of saying, psychic. Like for me, this would probably be the first time I'm telling anybody I happen to be, clairsentient or, I'm able to channel different spirits and guides. But if I feel like we're almost coming to that breakthrough point, and the date according to the scripts will be May 31st. That will be Pentecost, which should be around the time this whole quarantine will be done with. Because if we look at Italy, they've been quarantined for a month, and they still are talking about 2 or 3 more weeks for them. And we started about 3 weeks after they did. So seems like the dates in the calendar are very close.
Yeah.
So I figure I just put it out there for anybody. Maybe it is for us a time to break away from fear, maybe embrace the light that we all have been waiting for. And maybe we did get it before everybody else. And it will take the ones that are a little bit like a couple steps ahead of the entire population to start saying, hey guys, this is not a bad thing. Maybe something good is coming from all of this.
I can feel it.
So,
once you move away from the fear and all the drama and the chaos of all this going on, all I feel is peace and calmness and excitement about just the possibilities. I'm super excited. I know there's some tough times, but a good workout at the gym, it's you're going to leave with hurt muscles and stuff, but progress was made, right? Not that I go to the gym. I need to go to the gym, but now I can. I've got the perfect excuse not to go to the gym now, right?
Exactly. And, I think from our group, I love this group. It just feels like this is the safe place for people who felt that they did not fit anywhere else because you're afraid to talk about these different things that you experience. Who are you going to talk to about an out-of-body experience or, being able to go to past life regressions and think events that happened in the past, or just the fact that you have to accept all these gifts that you were born with and you're now just regaining your own power. I feel like it's so empowering for us to be able to have this group and talk to each other and lift each other up in so many different ways. It's just amazing. And I appreciate you so much, Shane, for doing this because I was so lost. You have no idea. For so many years, I just thought I was losing my mind, and I just happened to not fit anywhere. And I was afraid to even talk because they might put me in the nut house,
Yeah, I thought the same way. In fact, I've had my wife say it a few times. She goes, be careful. I don't want them to come and try to take the kids from the things you talk about. I'm like, all right, I'll be careful,
I know. It's and I also see such a huge change in the population everywhere where there used to be that everybody was so close-minded and you could not even question anything because people would get upset, offended, or angry at you. But I'm seeing where
there is a change where people are not necessarily accepting, but sort of like thinking about it, not just being so negative about things not necessarily being the way they believe, but they could be other options available out there. And that I just see it as a huge positive thing.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
I just wanted to put it out there for everybody. If anybody else has thought about this or think it's a possibility that maybe all of this has to do with the fact that, yes, there might be a opening in the heavens for light and knowledge and a lot of information, and the whole thing with the event. There is an event going on, whether we want to believe it or not, or whether it's not the time we were expecting it, but it is happening. It's here. And we are the leaders of this whole situation. And Alison Coe, for me, is a person that is so important because I found her through Dolores Cannon. I was watching her videos, and then I found Alison. And then following Alison, I found you. And then I found Candace, and I, did the BQH. And, now I'm practicing BQH. So it's almost like a chain of effects that is taking me to the place I need to be for this time and this moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of viewers through Alison Coe, actually. They just stumbled across my video because she came on here, and then of course, she made a surprise visit to ECETI to surprise whoever, everybody that came out there. She was able to come out and hang out, and so thankful. So yeah, she's awesome. There's a bunch of groups like that, like I ran into Todd Medina at out in Arizona when I was there, and I went on with him. I'd like to have him back, but he's kind of like me, where he's trying to get the word out and get people known and having different guests on, and I was just watching his show earlier today. So there's so many people working towards this thing. There's so much going on behind the scenes, and I can really feel that positive energy just building up, and we're going to just push right through this. There's no doubt in my mind, Yeah,
it's so funny because actually there's no coincidence, right? It's just always a synchronicity. So the first healer I ever read about or heard of is Edgar Casey, and right before I went on, somebody else was speaking about Edgar Casey, who to me is just an amazing person that walked this earth and had so many things, and gave literally his physical integrity and his life to help others and to uplift this world. And following Edgar Casey is how I found Dolores. And then, it's just like it's always the next, and it just seems to build up from there. As they say, when the student is ready, the teacher seems to appear for you. And it is so true for me in so many ways when it comes to this natural healing and BQH and all these other different things. And I'm sure everybody else seems to be somewhat finding people now. I have, of course, I'm so excited about Cynthia Sue Larson, who also resonates with me in so many ways. Of course, I'm not a physicist. I'm not, that well studied and have all the degrees that she has. But when she speaks, I just seem to resonate with the message and with the information, and I just find it to be true to the mission or the what I need to do and learn at the time and at this very moment. So, and I found her through you, so it seems like the chain keeps on extending and the path opens wherever I need to go. So it's amazing, it's wonderful, and I just can never be grateful enough to you and
you're so very welcome.
From this group.
Let me ask you, so doing the BQH, have you done many sessions yet?
I have done a few, and I'm new. I just only started about a year ago, and I'm really struggling finding people who want to do it. I'm not pushing it. I'm not, out there. I put myself in the group, the Cadence and the Quantum Healers group. I'm in there. I'm listed there. I had a few people reach back and forth Most of the sessions that I've done is just family members and friends, and they have all been wonderful, positive. I've been channeling Michael every time he just happens to pop up.
Wow, that's
You know,
nice. How
every
long has that
time
been
I do a
happening?
session, from the very first session I did.
Wow, that's
And
awesome.
when I did my QHHT, I was told I was going to channel Michael at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But I was never told that it was going to come from a different person. I thought it was just going to be me because I had a few visions, I had a few out-of-body experiences and things like that.
Right.
But every time I do a QHHT, I never mention it to the client, but it never fails. It's always there.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just one of those things that if somebody would tell you, you would not believe it. But it's in the recording, and it's coming from a different person, so it's not like it's being influenced in any way or form. But it's always there. It's always positive, and it's always uplifting, and it just keeps on coming. And
Yeah.
most of the information that I get is like we are all in our own reality. So do not, when somebody else is in a different reality, just appreciate them for where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can uplift them, you do that. But do not try to either force them into your reality or make them be negative about where they are.
Right.
Because we're all going to reach the same place, but it's almost like a stairway.
Yeah.
And everybody is at a different level. And, many of us could be at the same step, but a lot of us, people are way ahead of us, and a lot of people are behind us, and we just need to be uplifting to the ones that are not there yet.
Right. That's why I like the analogy that I used earlier with the school, because it kind of takes away the I'm better than you thing. Like, we're all here to learn, right? It's like, but I might have learned a lesson that I can help you with if you're in a different grade or whatever. And it's almost like, somebody can be in a further grade than you in something else, and it's like people just have their strengths and weaknesses, and they can help each other. It's not like you're in an above grade on everything, It's nice to have this community, because that's exactly what we're doing here. We're like, it's the learn, teach, learn relationship that the Law of One talks about. And I don't know how many times somebody left a comment to like Greg Braden. Think of how cool that guy is and how much great information is out there. And I discovered him from someone leaving a comment under one of my videos, and I was like, wow, this guy's awesome, And then I learned so much from him. So it's like, it's definitely a reciprocating relationship.
Yes, and it's also the fact that we have to really be cautious when somebody says something that bothers you or makes you uncomfortable. That could be the area on your own self that you need to work on.
Mm-hmm.
And often we forget that. It's we are also learning from others, and we are reflecting from others. So Louise Hay would say that. I love Louise Hay. She's one of the people that I've started to study, and I love her teachings. And she always said, the people that we attract into our lives, it's the areas where we need to work on and to improve ourselves. So let's not get upset, or let's not be judgmental of others, because that's probably the one spot of ourselves that we really need to work on. It's a reflection of where we are and our growth experience.
Right. Oh, Maria, High Vibe in 888 says you can practice on her if you want to do a practice session. Are
Absolutely.
you still? Yeah, you both. I have both of your emails, so I'll send you both I'll just send an email with both of you guys in it, and then you'll have each other's. I'll do that here in a minute.
Yes, you can reach out to me anytime. I've offered myself to do a free BQH to anybody who feels like they want to do it, or it's something that they want to do it, or they feel like if they need some healing. I do a lot of healing as well. I do
nice.
herbal healing. I do, yes. So please reach out. Feel free. My name is on the chat as well. I was on earlier on, so anyone is welcome to reach out, and I will be more than happy and to schedule a session or talk over, or just see where we are, and anything that I can do to help, I'll be happy to do as well.
Awesome. So they can, do you have a website, or they can find you through the BQH directory?
Yes, on the BQH directory, yes.
Okay.
Over there. But they can also reach out to me. I started a webpage, but it's not ready. But my email address is bqhinnatehealer@yahoo.com.
BQH Innate Healer, like INATE? Or is it two N's?
Two N's.
Sorry. Two N's, okay. BQH Innate Healer at Gmail, did you say?
Yahoo.com.
At Yahoo.
At
Okay.
yahoo.com.
I don't want to confuse everybody.
But I'm also on the BQH webpage, so if you look me up, I'm there. I also had one more little nugget of information that I wanted to share with you, Shane. If it's not too late, I know.
Oh, no, it's no problem. Can you give your name really fast that they can find you on the BQH directory? I don't know that they know your full name.
Ruth Amaya.
Ruth Amaya.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. And you guys, if you have any problems finding her or you can just reach out to me and I'll get you guys in touch.
Thank you, Shane.
No problem. And I don't have your email address, Hi Vibin. I thought I did. I know I have Alva's. Sorry. It's hard to keep up with everybody sometimes.
Yeah, well, I think I was emailing you from my personal email, but I figure I have this other email that I purposely created for my BQH page, because I'm hoping to have
okay. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't read that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. It's fine. It's no big deal. I just like to have a special spot that I can go and dedicate my time to that particular email. Because the other one, I don't go to it as often.
You have sent me something under that one before.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I just typed it in here. There it is. Okay. Okay, so I'll make sure I use that one if I send anybody your way. That's perfect.
Wonderful.
Okay, what did you want to tell me? I'm sorry I cut you off.
That's fine. The other day, Elaine and you were talking about the comet. Right. And that is coming. It's going to be here. Did you guys say May 4th? I believe is the date that it was given. Which that will be the day that will be seen the brightest in the sky. That's, I think, really what will be the most close to our planet. And you were also talking about a year ago we had the Oumuamua. Strange.
Yeah, it looked like a big. It looked like a big cigar.
We don't know
or whatever.
what it was. The big flying cigar. And so I was just when you guys were talking about this, I started channeling some information, and then what I got was the fact that Dolores had spoke about the wave of volunteers and how many other souls had come to help Earth because Earth was in trouble, and these volunteers came in to help heal the Earth, and they were antennas to help open the photonic light and to have healing come to the Earth. But these volunteers were extremely unhappy. They did not like Earth. The planet was too dense. Many of them started committing suicide. Many of the volunteers did not want to be here, so they had calls to be rescued and be taken back. And the information that I received is part of this virus is an option for a lot of these souls to depart. So this comet, it's almost like a spaceship that is coming to gather all the volunteers that are ready to go.
It's very good.
Because, the souls that we were on Earth, we were caught on the wheel of karma, and we are getting away with karma. So karma is going away. All the people that want to just let go, let it be, and move on to the next level and be into a higher being, move to 5D. They're, everybody's getting ready to that. That's where we're moving to. So there's a lot of different things happening at the same time. There's a lot of correlation with all these events. It's almost like a synchronicity happening.
Yeah.
But if you notice, we are having like large amounts of people reporting at the same time, like a mass accident. And many of these are the first wave of volunteers.
I like that.
Yes, as you and Eileen were talking, I just went into the mode, and this information just started popping into my head.
Yeah.
And in the past, I will just shake it off and say, but I'm studying with Michelle Beltran. I don't know if anybody's familiar with her. She is fabulous, and she teaches people how to move into your clear cognition and clear central and intuitive self and accept your gift. And so now that I'm moving towards that area of and accepting all these gifts, I'm able to actually talk about it and share it. So I figure I share it with you and with your audience and see if anybody else is receiving the same information.
Well, I had gotten early on that I saw it like an exit wave that, some people that's done their job and it's ready to go. It just makes for a good cover story for them to exit and keep the game real, or keep the illusion, the Maya, believable, So I guess that's sort of that.
Because not everybody's ready for it yet, exactly.
Right. And some people have done their job and they're ready to move on,
And the ones that are left behind, they need to maintain their pace. You cannot rush them. You cannot stop them. Because then fear, and remember, the fear is what feeds the negativity. And like when you go into panic fear, that's when the negativity grows. But a little bit of fear is sort of like helps you steer the wheel to stay in your lane, be in the right direction. But when you have panic and fear, and then you have massive panic and fear, then that's where the negativity gets stronger. So it's being done in a way that, and it doesn't feed into the wheel of karma, which is the part that we're trying to leave behind and move towards the new earth, what we want to call it, 5D earth, or new earth.
It's a wonderful time to be alive and a part of this beautiful shift that we're in the middle of,
Yes, and that's what the Lord says. We are living the best time of the universe. And it's all happening here. And I believe, I know in universal time it's nothing, but in our time it's a big, a big time of what is it? It may not happen in a month, in a year. It might take a few years, because what is a year on Earth compared to eternity, right?
Right. Yeah, we get so impatient here, don't we? It's like the generation of the most impatient people, and it's only getting worse. All the fast food restaurants and everything done so fast on the internet now, and we just want everything so fast. And really, it's happening pretty fast when you look back. You're like, wow, look how far we've come in just a few years, really. For me, I've come a long way. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and the fact that time is just an illusion, is not even real. And
right.
We actually exist. We are right now existing in so many different directions, and even have, like we are ourselves, I guess our soul is in many different places within the same planet. Like there's different versions of ourselves in more than one place on Earth.
Yeah.
How do you it's a lot to wrap your mind around.
Mm-hmm.
But just be where you need to be at this time, at this moment. Just live by the moment and be the best version of yourself right here, right now. And that's how you're going to move on to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. And just trust. I get it over and over again. They're like, you can't mess this up. Don't worry about it. You can't mess it up. Yeah. So don't fret. Don't think you're going to miss the bus. Don't be in fear about that. That just hurts your really all you're doing is affecting your experience. You know, you can make your experience not as fun, or you can make it a blast, but you're going to get there. Might as well go with the flow.
There's a best version of yourself out there helping you. You know, we talk about our own higher self. Well, we have our best higher self way up there helping us out. And I think the retrocausality as well, you know, we can go back into our own time and to the times where we were not the best version of ourselves and try to fix it as well. You know, in our meditation, we go back to the time, we go back to the place, and we try to do it right, even if it's not physically, but our mind and our soul is there. And trust me, I know it works because I've done it.
Yeah.
You know, I learned that from Cynthia Larson, and I've healed so many wounds from my past. You know, as a parent, there's so many things. Sometimes you wish you could have changed or could have done differently.
Yeah.
And I've done it in meditation, and I've healed relationship with my son, which, you know, it just changed my life. It changed my world because it was a big burden, and now things are way better. So I tell anyone, try it. Don't lose anything, and you will gain so much from it. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's beautiful. We're all doing our parts, and I appreciate you for doing yours, Ruth.
And I appreciate you so much for having this channel and for helping so many souls and for this family. I feel like this is my new soul family.
Absolutely. Beautiful.
This is amazing. Thank you so much, Shane, and thank you to everybody for this wonderful evening.
Thank you. Lots of love and light to you, Ruth. Thanks for calling in.
Same to you. Have a wonderful night and an amazing new week.
All righty, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's go.
You're listening to The Love Stream.
Unbiased and on the fence.
So that was beautiful. Thank you, Ruth. And to recap what she was saying, because I think it's interesting, because of course, it's Good Friday, right? So the idea of the way all the apostles sort of ran and hid themselves to protect themselves, and that parallels with now the way we're sort of all sheltered in place, quarantined or whatever. And then they all emerge with bravery as these tongues of fire, the Holy Spirit comes down, the day of Pentecost happens, they're all speaking in tongues. And by the way, I was the religion I spent most of my time in when I was like really little, like learning to walk age, was Pentecostal. So that's funny that this is all coming up now. So we're right here at Easter time. Actually, it's Good Friday. We got Easter on Sunday, and this whole time of what Ruth was talking about is just around the corner, like as it parallels with us looking at the Easter holiday and what happened after the crucifixion and the Holy Spirit coming down. So anyway, all of that's really interesting. I sort of wanted to recap that in case anybody came in late and you missed what Ruth was talking about. Okay, we're going to go back to the phone lines. 406 area code. Who am I talking to?
Hi, Shane?
Yep.
Can you hear me? This is Myrna from Montana.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing really good.
Great. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm so grateful for the opportunity that I had last time to speak on your show.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of weeks ago.
M-I-R-N-A, right?
M-I-R-N-A, yes.
Okay. I thought I remembered it right. Okay. So how's things been since you were on a couple of weeks back?
Yes, a little bit interesting. The children I have twins, and they're 17 years old, and they've been at home all the time. But even though we're used to being together, I don't know how many of you out there have teenagers. They can really trigger you. So I actually kind of had a couple of 2 days that I was challenged by my children and just situations that happen at home, and I find myself I hadn't meditated those 2 days because I'm just trying to lean off of meditation and getting my hands dirty and getting more grounded and doing some of the things that my inner self has told me that we needed to do. Like I was telling you, we're trying to start a homestead and growing our seeds and looking into having a food forest. So been doing a lot of that, running around, finding out about swells. We are on a south-facing slope, so it seems to be like a really good scenario for a food forest and swells. Anyways, dealing with my children, I found myself kind of going down a little bit down spiral for, just not being at my highest frequency, higher self.
Right.
And thankfully, yesterday I finally had an opportunity to meditate and had a huge, huge release. Just sort of forgiving myself for snapping at them and for not breathing. What I tell a lot of my friends, to breathe and pause and have some self-control before you react. So if anybody's home and you have children and you're experiencing the same thing as I am, take time and forgive yourself and know that you are human and that you will have moments where you are being challenged.
Absolutely. It's just part of life. Try not to take it
Yes,
too seriously. And especially if you're locked in the house with someone, pick your battles well, I guess, right?
Yes, or go for, before you react or whatever, just maybe say, hey, you know what, I think I got to take a walk. I found that walking, I'm very fortunate that I could just leave my house and go for a walk, and I'm right in state land full of life and trees and cows and horses. So that's really helpful. And the reason I was calling is because during this time I have listened to a couple of BQH sessions, and there was a very good session with Hara Katsiki.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with her, but
Yeah.
on 4/8. Oh, you heard? Okay. Yes, on 4/8, she published BQH. It's titled New Earth Updates. The event is coming soon. And I don't know if you remember in the last session I explained to you how I had experienced my event on 2013. March 23rd of 2013. Well, this session, it really it really confirms how the event is happening right now at this. They're basically in that session, it was saying that some people are experiencing the event right now, and or will continue to, or will be experiencing an event very soon.
Right.
In the like in the next couple of months or days. And some people will experience it. Well, okay, so some people experience the event or the awakening or Kundalini, what I would describe as a Kundalini awakening collectively. So a group of people will experience it almost at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's still an individual event. So it's like maybe it's spread out. It's just experienced within maybe minutes or days. So I just wanted to share that with anybody, that this BQH session, and it really explained very well what it's like. And it's very similar to what I explained in my last interview about the flash of light coming in and almost like a near-death experience.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that, the client said that some people, because they already hold the correct frequency, will not experience anything at all.
Right.
So because they're already on the right frequency. But other people will experience, like I said, a flash of light and a download of real self-realization and other knowledge. Like I saw that image of the man that has the arms extended and the legs extended.
Mm-hmm.
That famous image of that perfect man.
The Peruvian, right? The Peruvian man or something like that. Yeah.
Yes, that is one of the images that I saw as I was experiencing the event, my Kundalini awakening. And the client also expressed how some people be uncomfortable. And it was a little bit of an uncomfortable experience, but it was nothing to be afraid of.
Right.
It was my body was shaking uncontrollably. And she also said,
I'm trying to see here which one it was. I'm looking on her page. You said it came out in the beginning of April?
yes, it's on April 8th.
Oh, okay.
And it's called New Earth Updates. The event is coming soon, and it's not very long. It's about, I want to say 20 minutes long.
Yep,
so it's
22 minutes and
for
35 seconds. Let me, I'll put the link in the, because for some reason, I'm not subscribed to Hera or Hera. I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
I saw her on with Candace Crawl Goldman in an interview. I guess maybe I just never got around to subscribing. So no, I haven't seen this. I'm anxious to watch it. I'll paste it in the chat for you guys so you can find her.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's very interesting too because this client is talking about events that basically the way this client, the information they came through. Did I lose you?
No, I'm here. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. The information that came through, basically, per this experience from this client, is saying that 2020 is the year, that this is it. And that by the beginning of 2021, this will be like, things are going to be completely changing as far as maybe new, we might be seeing new things being put in place. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure. You would have to listen to it because I haven't listened to it for a while, but it basically is talking about this time right now. And of course, when you listen to anything, listen with your heart discernment. Take what resonates and just, just basically use your own heart discernment. But to me, it was very interesting because when he was explaining the event, I can totally relate with it.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be very, I just thought I would share this with people in case some people experience this, not to go in fear. I remember that when it first happened to me, after I came out of it, for about 3 months after the event, you will be holding the energy. So I was called to go to the mountains. It was just, it's just like the veil comes down, and now you see the world through different eyes. The first thing I remember was that I felt like wearing white. And I went through my clothes, and I realized that all my clothes that I had were mostly black. And another thing that happened was that I felt called to go to the mountains, and my vibration was so high. So when that happens, it's like it takes so much energy that you really have to learn to ground yourself. And I didn't know very well how to do that. I had to just kind of deal with it. But during the nighttime, my body was shaking, it would shake, and I would feel my body like it would be levitating. And I also had many dreams, many guides coming into my dreams, and so did my children. I asked them, and it was interesting how because they were very pure, they were like just 10 years old. It was interesting how their dreams lined up with mine.
Wow. This all started in 2013 when the event happened for you, or recently?
Yes. After the event happened to me, this is what I experienced. I felt like wearing white. I was called to go to the mountains. When I went to the mountains, I ran into people that gave me a message, and then they disappeared. One person, a man, I was in the mountains with my children, and a man came near us. I don't even know where he came from, but we were up in the mountains, and he reached down and he pulled the weed, and he said a message. He says, "Pull the weed so new life can grow." And then I just, that's all he said, and then he disappeared.
Oh wow! So that's really cool, because for me that's a synchronicity for what I was shown with the wheat and the tares, and how the truth and the lies have been allowed to grow up all this time together, and now the truth is being revealed. The tares are being removed and plucked out. So basically, the wheat is being removed, the lies are being removed from the truth, and that's exactly the orders you were given. Start plucking out the lies to make room for more truth.
Start plucking out the weeds. Exactly. Yeah. So that was the message. So some spirit manifested itself into this man and gave me that message at that time. So you will probably run into people that you will receive messages in so many ways. And the other one was that in billboards there would be words, and in different places there would be words, and they just would stand out. And I knew that this is the way they were communicating through me, through the words just sticking out, and I would just notice them. And usually all the messages were very positive, and I felt they were guiding me, and through the numbers too. My first number that I came across was 711. Mm-hmm. And also, the last caller, Ruth, was talking about Jesus, Joshua.
Yeah.
Joshua was one of my guides who came for me at that time. And when the guides come, at first it feels like they're outside of yourself, but then as I later understood, it's almost like they merge with your energy, and then I would feel what he would feel. I would feel the compassion and the love. And then White Buffalo Calf Woman, which is a legend for the Lakota tribe, the White Buffalo Woman. She was my other guide, and her expertise was in children and family, and the woman being the supportive role, and her love for the children. I felt it like I never loved my children before when at that time, because she was like integrated or a part of me. Oh my God, she just showed me how precious they are. She just has this incredible love for children, and she sees this special role of the woman being a very strong role in the family unit, supportive of the husband, and nurturing of the children is so precious. I don't even have the words to explain how beautiful her energy was, and Joshua, his compassion, and a lot of compassion for homeless people. And for all kinds of people. Just him very humble and very the Christ energy. Very. It seemed like so like thinking about Mother Mary, all that Christ energy, you really feel it. I also had visions that I was there during his crucifixion. I was a female, and I saw myself crying out for mercy as he was his day of as he was carrying this wooden tree like a cross. Mm-hmm. And which was confirmed through a BQH session that I had, that I was a follower of Jesus during his time. So I've had a very deep connection with Jesus. So I just wanted to share my experience of the event, so in case people experience this at this time, or just people that just experienced it and are looking for answers, they may be reaching out, and like I was. At first, I started, because it was Jesus who I felt at that time, I felt a strong connection. I thought that I started going to churches, started looking for answers at churches. So I went to I went to all the religions, and discovered that what I was looking for was not there. Because as soon as somebody would preach something that especially the Old Testament, how it talks about, the tribes that would conquer different lands and say, this is our promised land, and they would, decimate all the people and kill the women and children. I just knew that the source that I felt during the event, during my awakening, would never ask that of someone to, it was not death, it was just love. It's support of life and unconditional love.
Right.
So I also studied the Quran, and after all those religions, the one that I was almost got kind of stuck in was Messianic Judaism. So I was going to that church, I was following the rules, and then trying to get answers. But then when they approached me and they said that I couldn't enter some special temple because I was not born of a Jew, I was not allowed, and I realized, that's discrimination. This is not it. So
Right.
came into Dolores Canyon, and there was this journey of that I was yearning for answers, and thankfully I found my way. I didn't get caught up in going down the rabbit hole with the dark agendas, with the governments and all that. Didn't get caught up in the religion, and just kind of followed my heart and trusting in that truth that I experienced and I knew absolute, and I let that be my guide, and so
yeah.
Anyway,
April was saying that back to your event, how you were talking about the white. She was saying the dressed in white robes for righteousness on the holy mountain. I'm just going off of memory.
Yeah.
Holy mountain, robes of righteousness. That's what it was.
Yes. That was.
That's so cool.
Yes.
Isn't it so wonderful to be a
Yes.
part of this right now? I mean, I know I would feel impatient before, but now I'm like impatient with excitement. You know what I mean? It's like, oh gosh, why can't I ever just, of course I'm centering myself. I'm being in the now, but I do have those bursts of excitement where I'm like, oh, what's going to happen? How long is it going to take? And so I'm just really taking all that excitement and trying to meditate on it and just resonate at that, the feeling of so many things getting taken care of now, and the shift into something that's more and more beautiful each and every day, with more and more freedom for everyone. So I don't know. I'm just so thrilled on the inside. I just feel it bubbling up inside.
Absolutely. I also wanted to mention this, though. There was another session that I listened to. It's with New Earth Ascending. Mm-hmm. I don't know if any of your listeners are familiar with the team, Ron, Amit, and Michael Garber, I believe.
Transformation. Did they change their name, maybe?
Yes, to New Earth Ascending.
Oh, okay.
And I had my personal session. The best session I have had was with Ron. I had several, but I couldn't connect until Ron was very patient, and that's when I was finally able to tap into some past lives. Anyways, he posted on IQ. They called their method is called IQH, and this was a very powerful session. It can create a little bit of fear in some people, so please listen with discernment. But the title of it, from New Earth Ascending, is Message for All Light Workers. That's part B. There's 2 parts to this session, so it's 2 videos. Part A, it says Important Message from Mother Earth. and part B says message for all light workers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the one that Jean sent me. Yeah, very good.
Okay.
Okay, I knew it sounded
Yes.
familiar.
Yes.
Very cool.
So in this session, this person talks about waves that are going to be coming of basically of what we just experienced, like the coronavirus, and there being other waves similar to basically events that will happen that will basically put us in positions where certain people have to like make choices as far as what direction the soul wants to go.
All right.
And possible reality shifts. I don't quite remember the details, but I do remember this, that she talked about 6 waves coming, like the coronavirus, and that many souls transitioning at this time, like a rapture that is taking place right now. Many souls jumping on this train, and some, everybody's on their own path. But a lot of souls, like Ruth said, Ruth, I believe, said that they're just choosing to leave at this time.
Yeah.
They either will, maybe some of them might, I don't know, maybe some of them will be reincarnating here for another time, or they might go to another place to finish out their karma, or some maybe being born into, once all this takes place, being born into what we call the new earth.
Yeah.
So basically, that message, what I gather from that message is that before we get there, and she was talking about the foundation, that basically there has to be a dismantling of the old systems. You can't put something new on top of an old foundation. So you have to break down the old foundation and lay out a new foundation. So I know that everybody would love for, me too, I would like things to happen really fast, but what if it doesn't? What if this takes time? Because it took so many years for think about how many years it took for them to create the systems that we have in place. Sometimes it might take some time for this transformation to happen.
I've been actually kind of surprised at how quickly things have changed, just the way everybody's handling everything, and it's really made me realize how quick things can switch. I mean, people stop taking money like almost overnight. Many people, you have to just use a card, or I don't know, the curbside service. There's just so many little things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, so much has changed. Like, I mean, it's a completely different landscape than 3 months ago, and I'm like looking at how much stuff has changed, and it really is encouraging to see that, to know that other things can change a lot faster than we thought. And I'm with you, though. I'm definitely with you that it could take a while. I don't really know timelines, and I think sort of the catch-22 to it is like you almost have to get to the point where you're okay with however long it takes, and that's sort of where I am now. I'm just in such a content place where people say I'm in 5D. I create as much 5D around me as I can, and I roll with that until things begin to look that way more and more around me, and it's not easy. I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything. I'm just saying that that's where I always try to vibrate at, because the more I can do that, the more I can be high vibe, the more I'm connected intuitively. So that keeps me there because I'm, connected. And then, I don't know, it's just a better place to be. And, we'll be there before we know it, right? It's like, enjoy this time we're in right now, because this is a cool journey. You don't want to look back and think, I wish I would have enjoyed that more, because that's such a cool shift we went through. And, we're in it right now. Enjoy it,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Actually, we, the ones that have awakened first, we have done our work of healing ourselves, and we have been prepared. We're preparing for this time so we can hold the space for those other people that are experiencing more chaos in different places. So we, like you just said exactly, is that we have to hold that space. We have to be the ones to hold the peace, to hold the harmony, and hold the balance. You know, because there's actually people that are experiencing fear, so much fear and uncertainty, and us knowing, you know, having a little bit of foresight and have been sort of groomed and sort of been prepared for this, we have more certainty than them, because we know, we have an idea, and we were kind of expecting and hoping for this to take place. We didn't know how it was going to take place, but we know there was a shift coming.
Yeah. And now we can offer that calmness to them as they look around and they're worried or in fear. They're like, well, why are these people so calm, you know? So it helps. It helps that we're seeing this for what it is, and taking a step back and not getting caught in all the drama and chaos, because it is. There's so much. It's like you almost won't even notice what's going on unless you turn on the news. You know, you might notice people wearing masks and stuff or while you're interacting, but for the most part, everything's really calm, and even hospital visitations or you know, hospitalizations are down because nobody's out getting hurt hardly. So.
Yes, it's very quiet, and just in this time that there has been less traffic, and less traffic in the air and less traffic on the ground. There's very positive things taking place, like the sky is cleaner, the air is cleaner. In such a short time, things, Mother Earth is bouncing back. She's healing, and she's cleansing herself. And so there's good things in the middle of all this chaos. You see people growing food, and you know, it's just that we're shifting, and it's beautiful to see how many people, you know, are now. It's like people are going. I went to my nursery, and all kinds of people buying all kinds of fruit trees. Seeds are selling out.
That's awesome.
Yes,
wow.
So people are actually, you know,
we're like quite physically creating new Earth.
Yes, the gardeners of the earth. They come here on a mission specifically to show us the way, and I highly recommend for people to research Food Forest by Geoff Lawton. That's Geoff Lawton, Lawton. He is greening the desert. There's a project of people that have money that I think they own North Face, and they bought, I think, 3 million acres between Chile and Argentina. And they gave it back to the country, but they said under one condition: if it goes untouched. So they're living on that property now, and they call it Nueva Terra, New Earth, and they're rebuilding that forest, assisting the growing the trees. It's just amazing what has been taking place. The earth, you know, as I can already envision, it's going to be a very green earth, with everybody in their backyards just having these all these food forests and bountiful trees of fruit and plenty for everyone. And as I was walking one of these days, I had this thought that came to my mind, that if all of us were to do that, because I did find out how I've heard that people went and bought guns, and there's a lot of people here that own guns. And I had this voice that said, don't bear your arms, bear your hearts.
Yeah.
You know, so instead of buying guns, and they're not to be going against, you know, our government. It's for the people are thinking about shooting other people that may be hungry or maybe want to take something from them. And I say, so I called it Peaceful Gardens. That was the idea, Peaceful Gardens. So the idea is to take matter more into our own hands, you know, this sense of powerless and having to depend on the system for the food and everything that we need. Get our power back by at least insourcing one thing that you depend on. There's basic needs. You need food, shelter in cold places. You need heat. Figure out what of those needs can you provide for yourself. And maybe food is one of the most important ones. Plant your garden, so no matter what comes your way, you can have that sense of security, that more peace, and know, okay, I planted my trees, I planted my garden, I have food. Store water, and store seeds. Learn how to store your own seeds. So it's just amazing how the earth just wants to keep on giving and giving and giving. Yeah. All you have to do is just plant the seed, and so that's the beautiful thing about the food forest, is that perennials, they just once you plant them out, they keep giving you every year. And the fruit trees, once they take off, they just keep giving you every year.
Yeah.
And as far as one thing that I'm concerned about with this coronavirus is, what if they decide they want us to they want to enforce the vaccines?
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. I know that that's in there. I know that's in their plans, but I wouldn't worry about that at all. It's not gonna go down that way.
Yes, I hope so too. But another way where you don't have to worry about what things the government wants to enforce is by people that go off the grid. They don't have to worry about any of that stuff, because they know how to get their energy, their water, their food from self. And the beautiful thing about communities is that not all the work is done on one back. If it's shared by different people, then you can have, you can share the labor with other people.
Yeah.
So that's why I mentioned Damanhur. Remember I mentioned Damanhur, the community in Italy?
Yeah.
Of light workers, and there are many communities like that. And it doesn't have to be a big community. We, for example, are building our house with the community idea to have like a community here. Our house is 2 houses in one, so the bottom floor would be ours and the top floor would be for another family, because our land, just in 2 acres, we can grow enough food for multiple families. And therefore, if you have a family that coexists with you, they have their own space and you have separate space. If you decide you have to take a road trip or you need to do something, that family can look after your garden, after the house, after, you know what I mean? And then when you come, you can just kind of work together. Families working together. If you have space, something to consider, especially when you can share the expenses, share in the land, share in the labor. It's just ideas that I'm giving. I like to share. And before I go, I just want to share one more session that was really, really. I thought it was very beautiful. It was even. It was one of my favorite ones, and this one is titled. It was published on April 4th, 2020, and it's the title is. It's by the channel is The YouTube page is by Holly Duckworth. That's Holly. I think it's HOLLY Duckworth. D as in David. UCKWORTH PhD. And the title of this this session is called Durango. D as in David. URANGO. And then SC. S as in Sam. C as in Carol. And Summit. SUMMIT number 1. Great questions. This practitioner just absolutely, if any of these sessions I mentioned, this is the one. You might have to use headphones because it's a little bit quiet, but this was a person that I felt that was a very high vibrational person with very great energy and great questions that everybody must be asking. So wanted to share that with everybody.
What kind of practitioner is Holly? Is she QHHT?
She is QHHT. I don't know if she is QHHT or could be BQH.
Okay.
Okay, and the person that was the person that the client was, she wrote it there in the description, says Rachel Bennett. I don't know who she is, but very high frequency. I felt it was a very great session. Durango SC Summit #1.
Okay, I just pasted the link in the chat box for you guys if you want to click on over there. I went ahead and clicked on it, so I'll be able to go back to my history and restart it. Wow, she's only got 300 subscribers, so many people probably haven't seen this one, so at least want to go over there and subscribe so that you know about her channel, because the smaller ones like this that don't grow, like I had Tony on, he should have way more subscribers than what he has. He's been on for so long, but you can tell the ones like ours that stay real small. And I think of it as a good thing, because like he said he got like 50 subscribers. I'm like, well, those are 50 great people. You know what I mean? I feel good about sending subscribers to somebody, because it's like the greatest group of people that, and I started thinking about that actually just earlier today. I'm like, man, what if you were like one of those channels that you were kind of more like, I don't know, just more angry and stuff, and you had all these angry subscribers and you were sending them over and they're like beating up on your guests because they're just angry all the time, and it's like, oh, so glad I got a good subscriber base. So thank you guys. I love you all so much, and I appreciate you all being here. Just wanted to put that in there.
Okay.
So awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Shane. I know I speak fast sometimes, but I apologize, and I hope I made sense. But I just wanted to share this with everyone. And like I said, this last session that I said, I think it was one of the best ones that I've listened to. And a lot of the questions that you have, you will find some information in this channel. Durango SC Summit #1. Great questions.
Perfect. I'm going to paste it in there one last time for you guys in the chat in case you missed it earlier, because it is kind of moving. And I will definitely watch that, because that's how the best videos that I watch are the ones that people recommend to me. Like that. Say, hey, watch this. So I appreciate you, Myrna. Thanks for coming back on again and sharing all that. Exciting times.
Yes, it is. Thank you. Thank you, Shane, so much for this channel that I have this opportunity to. I'm very, very shy, and this is the first time I open up in public in your channel. Awesome. So I'm really grateful, and I thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, and I hope that encourages others to step up and come on, because it's easy to talk. It's nerve-wracking at first, but then once you get to talking, it's like a regular old conversation, isn't it?
Yes, I find that closing my eyes helps. I don't know why, but it does help me.
Yeah, I think I did that at
okay,
first.
well, thank you very much, and everybody have a good night, and maybe I'll talk another time.
Okay, sounds good, Myrna. Lots of love to you. Have a good one.
Same to you. Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right. Okay, so that's gonna wrap it up this week. Oh, I got 4. Man, I've been getting 4s a lot lately. You got 44 people. I don't know if it's accurate right now, but it's saying 44 people watching, 4 messages a second. So I got 444 across the bottom. I got 444 earlier, and I noticed these trends with the numbers. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and just look it up live in the air. Keeping it real. 444 angel number. So if anyone else has been getting 444 lately, because I get them all the time, but you'll notice trends when you're getting one way more than the other. And angel number 444. Ask that you pay attention to your intuition and inner wisdom, as your connection with your angels and the angelic realm is very strong at this time. Yay. Angel number 444 is a message that you have nothing to fear in regards to your life, work, and divine life purpose. How's that? I love that. So I was guided to turn on Marina Jacoby, I think her name is. Sorry if I messed it up. I hear about her all the time. I've come across her videos from time to time, and for some reason her name popped in my head today. That's another way, you know. You'll just have a name. I was meditating, that name popped in my head. I'm like, let's see what she's been up to lately, because I don't get around to check everybody out, but I know I've liked her stuff in the past, and I watched, like, I don't know, a few minutes of one of her newest videos, and I got what I needed within, I don't know, it was a good video. It was a good practice to do, but what I needed was, she was talking about how, you know, from time to time, actually, she had an exercise you can do where you set this alarm on your clock for every 3 hours, and then you look at your vibe and see if you're high vibe, or you look at what you're doing, and it was a great video, so you can, let me see if I can, I know we've already given you guys so many videos to watch at this point, but, because I might be messing her name up and you can't find it, and let me just see if I can find it really fast here. Oh, I forgot she changed the name of her channel, so I'm glad I looked. It's actually the Harmonic Reactor now. I'll go ahead and just copy this link in. Anyway, I thought it was cool. It's Quantum Manifestation, Marina Jacobi, 9 Days Quantum Protocol from the Council of Nine. Anyway, it was real interesting. You can set your alarm. You watch it, but it was a great way to, like, kind of check yourself, see where you're at, see if you're, you know, what are you doing at the moment that your alarm goes off, and, you know, are you doing something that's sort of high vibe, or are you doing something that's low vibe? And she even called out the video games, because a lot of people are probably sitting at home and are like, oh man, 'cause I'm totally a gamer, so I know what it's like to, you get a bunch of free time on your hand, you're stuck in the house, and you just get lost in a video game. And, you know, since 2017, I've had to really pull back, because you can be really competitive in games. And especially, like, with my son, you know, it's like, for the longest time, I was like, I had to be better than him. I'm the gamer. And so, but he invests so much time in it that I just can't keep up. I don't have the time to invest in it like that. So now it's shifted. He's the hero. And whenever I play, you know, it's like I'm all rusty and he gets to come save me. And it's, so it still works out, because he loves to be the hero, and I'm cool with that. And plus, you just don't have the time, and it's hard to keep up with these little kids, man. Their brain is just so quick. It's just amazing how fast their brain is. And I watch him playing some of the different games, and I'm just amazed. I can't even really tell what the heck is going on. He's doing it so fast. So, building on Fortnite or whatever. But anyway, back to Marina Jacobi. Check it out, you guys. It's real practical, but what it had done is gave me the idea of getting a random alarm that goes off on an app, and I haven't got it to work properly. But it did go off one time, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4. It was 12:34, and it went off at the synchronistic time, and it said, "What are you thinking about right now?" And that's what I programmed it to say. But to randomly just come on and ask you what you're thinking about. See if you're doing something high vibe, or if you're, you know, you might be doing something fun like video games, but does it have you sort of on edge and in anger and that competitive sort of low vibe feeling? So just spending lots of time doing high vibe activities, gardening, getting outside. I've been like laying on, just today, me and my son were laying on the trampoline and just looking up at the sky and just chilling, enjoying the wind. It was a beautiful day. It's probably like 60 degrees. And, it was kind of chilly, but the black of the trampoline was kind of attracting the sun, so that was kind of warm. And we're just laying there, and he's like, you know what? I'm so glad the coronavirus happened. It's just, we're like, I don't know. He's just appreciating the time off. So make the best of it, you guys. We're doing this. Things are happening. It's beautiful. And I am so thankful for each and every one of you. I'm sending so much love out right now to you guys watching live and watching this later. We'll be back tomorrow night, Eileen and I, for the Power of One. Lots of love and light and unity. And we'll see you on the next one. Be sure to check out the website at uotf.net. There you will find the live stream schedule displayed in your local time right there on the front page. Below that, you'll find links to take the Beyond Quantum Healing course at a discounted rate, purchase our book, Mandela Effect, Friend or Foe, in paperback or ebook, or to contact me to schedule a BQH session. At the top of the site, you'll find links to help support the work I do, access the free private forum where you can discuss organizing get-togethers in your area, Mandela effects, and more. Thank you all so much for being here.